So this is a Kundalini Chrism astrology update, or the annual hero or heroine's journey we each go through, where that plays out in our lives, in our collective experience, and in the energy centers of our bodies. So I'm sure everybody else out there is also feeling this birth canal we're moving through. We're going through a portal, we're going through the womb of creation, we're going through a birthing process, and birth is of course very messy and bloody, and it's hard and it's tough. And what I want to say about where we're at right now energetically is, in my previous teaching I explained at equinox points, where we were in September, there's a copulation of mother and father God consciousness, right? Light and dark meet to copulate a potential reality. And I did warn that this is often when the cabal will launch a storyline on the world scene, something to keep us in a state of conflict, which of course we've all seen happen. And at the equinox points, I explained that we were at the solar plexus chakra. After solstice points, we come down into the root and the sacrum. Down here, the place of the shadow, the inner child, things start to call up. And then by equinox, it's trying to burn through the solar plexus, the soul, the place of the Christ, the fire, the power. And I think a lot of us are experiencing this right now in our collective story as well as our personal story. Some shadow aspect is trying to burn through and be exposed into the light, be integrated into the whole, be integrated into the light. And right now, again, this is a great example of how in Hindu Shaktism, which is a very ancient fertility culture, there are celebrations right now going on called Navratri. Navratri is the celebration of the supreme goddess Durga. And it happens every year just after equinox in March and just after equinox in September. So right now we're in the middle of it. It goes from October, this year it changes every year depending on the moon. But right now it goes from October 15th to October 24th. So it's always a 9-day festival. And those 9 days, on each day is a celebration of a different aspect of the goddess. Right, so the different aspect of the goddess, and we move through this portal at Navratri time. I believe it to be an ancient ceremony or celebration of the birthing canal we each go through. See, the full facet of the goddess, these 9 aspects of the goddess, are the full facets of ourselves, because we are the goddess, we are her body, right, the mother. So we're all moving through her birthing canal right now. And what will be fascinating to know is that the story of Navratri is when Goddess Durga defeated evil. And evil was embodied by the Asura, or the sort of demon entity, an invisible entity called Mahishasura, right? And he was bovine looking, which is funny because the bovine look, the bovine head in this big evil body, this Asuric body, is also the look of Moloch. Moloch being this ancient entity of destruction and blood sacrifice and continuous strife with humans, right? So Durga, over Navratri, the 9 days, Mahadurga, the great mother, is born to defeat this entity. And it takes 9 days in the story. I'll share the story maybe in a post, because Mahishasura keeps changing his appearance. He keeps shape-shifting. He's a shapeshifter. And so Durgama is trying to defeat this evil, but he keeps transforming, right? And we can see that a lot in our current sort of collective story right now. The story that keeps changing to oppress in indigenous peoples, right? So this is very fascinating for me, and this is this kind of birth canal we're going through. We're being born into the fullness of ourselves and the fullness of this goddess, right? And it's not just in our collective story, and as everybody knows, I like to speak for the liberation of Palestine, which in no way means the oppression of Israelis. As a South African, there is a way for everyone to have their equal rights and to live in peaceful integration and unity. So yes, we see that externally, but where are we seeing it in our personal lives as well? Where is that entity or that aspect deceiving us, shape-shifting? Where are we stuck in a pattern? And where do we need to speak? Right now, the energy is moving through the solar plexus. We've all felt a lot of grief and breaking open in the heart, a lot of difficult feelings. And the voice is now activated. So if you follow these videos, like I said, at solstice, we're in the lower chakras, right? The place of the shadow. We're burning through the fire. The lower chakras is the earth or the mother. And the higher chakras is more like the father or cosmic mother. And that is the power of the word, the throat chakra. And anatomically, there is a deep connection between the pelvic floor and the throat system. They're anatomically connected. So the pelvic floor is where the psoas muscle is, right? The psoas is the soul muscle. It's kind of like all along in here in your hip area, all around. And it's kind of the root or the trunk of the nervous system. So when the nervous system is pent up, charged, it's got a lot of, like I said, charge or energy coursing through it. It's might be in a sympathetic charge, overwhelmed, moving forward, too much energy. It might be parasympathetically charged, depleted, fatigued. The nervous system is the tree of life in the body, right? And if there's a lot locked into the psoas muscle, a lot of trauma, a lot of unresolved stuff, the throat can't work. The logos, the power of your word, doesn't work when there's stuff trapped down here. So right now the challenge is, can you speak? That's the challenge right now, because the energy is moving into the higher centers. And it's the snake, right? I've explained in my teachings, you can go look on my YouTube about Sophia's season and the Chrism process, the Kundalini Chrism process, meaning the serpent energy, the snake energy wants to move up and be transformed into the light. Now we're at that point where the inner child, the shadow stuff is coming up, personally in our lives and collectively. And the request, what is required, is the strength to speak. The throat chakra must be activated, and the logos, word becomes flesh. That's the rules of the realm that we're in. The word becomes flesh. So where are you being asked to use your word in your life? Maybe it's scary, definitely. When you speak your needs, when you announce your discomfort, when you say what you feel, you're going to get opposition. And that is the power of the transformation. You have to be able to receive the opposition and work through that discomfort and keep using your words to speak your truth, to speak what's true, to speak what's good, to speak what's right. Because right now we're coming to the end of Navratri and we're riding with the energy of the great goddess, and she is defeating an ignorance. She is defeating an ignorance in us. This Mahis Shai Sura, this Sura, he is in us. The suppressor is in us. Where do we oppress ourselves? Where do you not speak for yourself? Where do you back down because you don't want the conflict? When that happens, this thing, the power of the Kundalini that's trying to break through into the throat, into the resolution, the fullness of the resolution, if you don't speak, this energy that wants to move up will descend. And it will stay in the realm of ignorance or Satan, which is down here. So yes, it is uncomfortable. But in your personal life, what do you need to say? What do you need to stand for, regardless of what's going to come at you? You need to hold your position. And that also goes for our collective experience right now. What do you need to say out loud, regardless of what legacy media is pushing, regardless of what people around you think? Who is going to represent the truth, the liberation, and the beauty of our great mother, and say the truth? And yeah, whatever comes at you, and that will be your great refinement. You don't refine your spirituality unless you speak truth. No, you don't know what it's like to refine unless you speak truth and you experience persecution and hostility coming at you. That is the great test. That is the great test. And if you can move through that test, that brings the evolution, that brings the fullness of the evolution. So yes, that's my update at the moment. The energy has moved through the solar plexus. It's now trying to push through into the throat. We're in this Navratri birthing portal, and yes, it's okay. Say it in your personal life, say it in our collective experience, speak it, because The word becomes flesh, and it's up to us to speak the truth of reality, to announce what we want, to announce what's good. We create this together, so speak. Love you. Blessed Mother, Blessed Mother. Let's ride this with her.